So in regards to glutathione dosing, I wanted to just clarify a few things so that people can understand that there are parameters there. It's a wonderful anti-inflammatory, and kind of like riboflavin, where it's really difficult to find a dose that isn't appropriate for the body. There does come a point where your body doesn't necessarily need more. So it's not that it's going to create a toxicity, just like riboflavin, but it can become a waste. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a fairly spendy micronutrient, so you want to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. So dosing. When somebody's fighting an infection, I like to go higher for short periods of time, particularly on glutathione, D, A, C, all those things that I've mentioned before. So on glutathione, I'll shoot for about 1,000 milligrams in a single dose in a single day. And they usually come in 100 to 250 milligram increments in terms of the capsules for the acetylated form, as I mentioned. And so I try and get the larger capsules, the 250 milligram capsules, and I'll have people do 3 or 4 of those on a single day when they're fighting an infection. As a baseline for somebody that doesn't recycle glutathione well, I'll have them do that type of a dose, like 750 milligrams, so like 3 capsules, 2 to 3 times a week. And that would be a great baseline. That's pretty much what I do for myself, and I find that that keeps me at a pretty even state relative to managing my inflammation. In terms of suppositories, those usually come in about 300 milligram increments, but the cool thing is that it's bound in, some of them are bound in cysteine, some of them are bound in coffee. Turns out that coffee causes glutathione to recycle itself because it releases an enzyme called glutathione S-transferase. And it releases it in the intestines right where glutathione is supposed to be recycled. Perfect, right? And it's really one of the reasons why people might even consider doing coffee enemas, because of what it does for upregulation of glutathione in the intestinal tract. Now, dosing orally, as I mentioned, 750 to 1,000. Some people will say, well, can I take it daily? Yes, you can, but really the body does better with these higher doses incrementally. And I find that you're going to waste less money and less product by doing it in that fashion. It's like coming into a fire and saying, well, if I've got a squirt gun, can I put out this little fire over here with a squirt gun? Well, not really. You want a big fire extinguisher, put the thing out, have a little extra laying around, and let the body deal with that. So that's how I work with glutathione. On the nebulizing side, it's pretty simple, and if you refer back to my how to use a nebulizer video, you put the water in it, and somebody had asked a question about what kind of water. Distilled water would be better because the membrane in a nebulizer can get clogged with minerals. So you have distilled water, and then it'll be filled like with 2/3 distilled water, and then you can literally open a capsule of glutathione into that water, let it dissolve into it, close the thing up, and you literally just nebulize that. So you're getting 250 milligrams of glutathione in a nebulized form that way. Very safe to do, easy to do. On the topical, it's pretty difficult to actually know how many milligrams you're putting out relative to what the pump says, so you just got to go by what it says on there. Topical dosing is a little more nebulous in terms of accurate dosing. You're usually going to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 to 150 milligrams per pump per most manufacturers. And I wouldn't look at that as I'm trying to dose glutathione. I wouldn't put that into the category of what you just stuck in your mouth. I would look at that as I'm treating a tissue. And yes, I'm going to try and get some glutathione into this tissue. I'm not so concerned about the milligram dosing because getting it systemically that way, it's not the best form. And I've already talked about the intravenous forms, and if you ever do that, well, the practitioner that's doing that for you, they're going to tell you exactly how many milligrams that you're getting. So that's kind of a summary on dosing, and I hope that's helpful to give you a starting spot so that you know how to work with that. Realize that it's a very safe nutrient and so helpful for so many purposes of ultimately squashing our inflammation. Have a great day.